Good evening! How are we all doing? I am doing just brilliantly. I definitely don't have tonsillitis. I don't know what you're on about. But nevertheless, hi, welcome. Who thought we'd get this far? Because I, for one, had my doubts. I'm not saying I didn't expect us to. I was just saying I had our doubts. But nevertheless, we did. And we're here. It's the final of season 2, and I don't know where the time's gone. Nevertheless, we're here, and I am really looking forward to this race. I cannot lie, it's going to be awesome. We got some heroes from the very start, and others that have joined in within the last couple of races. But nevertheless, this is BRL at its finest, and I'm really looking forward to see how it goes. 14 races done so far within the season of the 15, and it has led down to a pretty decent little finale. I'm really hoping that it is a decent finale. Unlike last race, which was atrocious, it was incredibly boring. But nevertheless, drivers and constructors standings came out today, and it's important to see how they go because it really could be an interesting one today, like a really, really interesting one. So, looking at the drivers' standings, J Horse has obviously won. He did that a little while ago. Rick has secured second place as well. He's done and dusted. Jobs are good and la di da di da. Mr. Cookie and R. Henson battle for P3. Things we absolutely love to see. That Sim guy and Jimmy Jags, of which Jimmy Jags is here, that Sim guy isn't. So Jimmy Jags has got an opportunity to move up a place. He only needs a point. So he's in a really good position right now. Other drivers that are very close together, Essex, Armand and Lifebout, all within 7 points of each other. That'll be a nice little battle to see who comes out on top. We've got Armand, Essex Perry. Have we got Lifebout as well? We do have Lifebout. So we've got all three of those drivers. That's actually great. Love to see that. Other than that, I think constructor standings is where the title isn't wrapped up, ladies and gentlemen. Ferrari, in fact, aren't even first. It's Alfa Romeo who sit at the top of the standing at 422 points to Ferrari's 417. So, with that in mind, that's a decent little title fight coming into Brazil. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. Here's the driver who's going to be partnering alongside the world title holder already. Jackalacco will run in the Ferrari, but never fear, Andy's here. J-Horse not out at the moment. In fact, none of the big runners at the moment out on track. We'll keep watching the Haas is earliest on. Smithy first out on track, so we will keep a close little eye on him. I do apologise if I'm struggling to talk at the end of this. My tonsil already hurts, and I've done not 2 minutes. So this is going to be an interesting one. I have an pint of water as well, so that should help wash away the tears. But other than that, it's going to be alright. I'm looking forward to this. Qualifying should be pretty decent around Brazil. Brazil, quite notorious for being able to pick up driver limits, especially in Sector 1. CNRS's perfect opportunity. And Sector 2, just ever so slightly hit it, ever so slightly too much, especially around the tight rights. You're done for. If I'm being totally honest, you're done for. But Brazil is a track I absolutely love. I did actually come out to practice and I drove for a little bit. I did like 4 laps, and there we go. You can see Smithy has red lap time round. Hazard at the moment still running in clear though, so we will continue to watch him instead. So Brazil, great little track. We saw on Sunday just how competitive of a track it can be with some brilliant racing. Unfortunately ended in, I guess, quite a lackluster end. After everything that happened, you would have kind of expected it to have have been a bit more challenging than it actually was. But George Russell did, of course, take home the win. Will it be a Mercedes today? Well, that would be down to Bluebird to set a decent enough time to take maybe pole position. Who knows? At the moment, though, Giacolacco sits at the top of the standings for Ferrari, with the two Aston Martins running up just alongside him. And Simon Barstafan in P4 of all drivers to set times so far. With lots of drivers down that main straight, including pretty much all the front runners. Mr. Cookie has gone and set a very Alfa Romeo worthy time. Possibly, you know, you never know. It could be a decent enough time. It's whole lifeboat back by nearly half a second from Rick, 6/10 down from his teammate. So really, really big open amount there between the two Alfa Romeos already. Who knows? Oh my God! It's the birthday of. It's BRL's birthday. Oh, that's awesome. That's actually really cool. Nevertheless, let's keep watching some other drivers. Let's watch Blair. Blair's out on a flyer right now. Qualifying at the moment, pretty quiet. I mean, it's open at the top, isn't it? It's really open at the top. It's like surprisingly open at the top. I mean, other than that, like, most drivers are decent run. I mean, you're very, very quiet on track. Got no good feel. Don't really know what to say. I mean, this is kind of the thing, right? Is like you struggle in qualifying because a lot of the times they're coming waves. So you get really busy races, and then other races are just like silent. But how on earth are you supposed to have any life when it's silent on track? You know, like SX Perry's out on track at the moment, and Henson, and that's it. Henson's actually on he'll say he's on a fire. He's 2 down, 2 seconds down. Sorry. That hurts my ears. I'm not watching that. I love how this channel still has just one video. The only video. And I made it, so I'm very proud of that. But nevertheless, it's one video. Hello, yeah, hello. Cardo to go. I appreciate that a lot. I've got to say, you guys love me way too much. I can't. Way too much. I don't deserve the love I get, but I appreciate it nevertheless. It's been a really good year so far, especially for the amount of stuff we've been able to stream. It's been unfortunate that MRLS hasn't been able to keep all the leagues that it had on. Haven't really had such a viewing as BRL, as I think BRL has. Well, BRL ran the channel before this was a channel for BRL. So you can kind of understand why, you know, it wasn't wasn't such the case for a little while, and why things went up and down and whatnot. But I mean, nevertheless, like still growing the fans, absolutely still. BRL still the day, that's all I'm saying. I can go and do absolutely any league I wanted to, and yet I'd still come back by BRL everyone says, because everyone loves everyone, and it's not. I don't know. Who was it? I can't remember his name. All I know is we had a nice hatred. Nevertheless, Smithy's got a bit of a decent little run there. Go P8. Most drivers back out on track now. Hazard, 2 tenths down at the moment. Not doing an amazing work so far, but you never know. It can still come back from here. It's not the end of qualifying just yet. We've still got a couple of minutes to go. I think more like 8 or so. It would be helpful if the yellow flag would go away nicely. 8 minutes and 52 seconds to go. It's almost like every time I look at the timer, always like ridiculous. It's so strange. I don't get it so long. And in comes the Aston Martin. So drivers that haven't been yet include J-Horse, Quick Killers, Bluebird and Aeroblake. Speaking of, J-Horse is about to go and set a time, so we ought to watch that one. J-Horse comes into the pits. Right. Oh yeah, he's doing a 121 at the moment. That's not really where you want. You want to, a little bit. So obviously he had a nice, terrible lap. And he'll be coming back in, maybe switching out the tyres. But that means J-Horse will have one opportunity at a lap, and he's got to make that work. It's going to be difficult. Like he's not making this easy for himself, especially considering the fact that he's got a championship to wrap up. Usually when J-Horse has got a championship to wrap up, he actually properly goes for it. But he's not at the moment. He's just being quite nice and calm and almost considerate. I don't really know how to feel about that. Nevertheless, Blair is on and in that. So is Lightbound. Our Henson was pushing and then nicely denied. Nevertheless, it's gone quiet again, hasn't it? I mean, felt like it had a bit to it, and then it didn't. Oh, we can watch Aeroblake's. I found Aeroblake's video of him. Aeroblake, nosebleed, still in the pit lane, hasn't left the pit lane yet this entire time. J-Horse also on an out lap. Better watch out for him. He's a feisty little fella at times. So we will watch. I think J-Horse is probably the man to watch here for the next couple of laps. Possibly just for this one, but you never know. Let's see how Ricky's coming along. See, this is what's great. If people like talk in the chat, or even better, good chance that we often see someone that's live streaming on YouTube, because all the drivers mandatory do have to live stream it. Just so if there's an incident, we can look back and see who caused that incident. Great, you can type in BRL quite often, and you'll find the people that are live streaming it. Great. Yeah, there you go. There's Scotty, SX Perry, Aeroblake, J-Horse, Rick, us, of course. There's quite a few people. Either way, J-Horse has gone and set a fastest sector 2 time. Shocker. When's that ever not been the case? see he comes across the line and he goes P2. Mr. Cookie currently still fastest of the lot. Let's see if he's got his microphone and we can listen to the reaction. Shame. J-Horse hasn't got anyone watching. No commentary on your own racing. What's going on? Alright, let's be honest here. What is going on? That is what you do. Every time. You know, pretend like someone's there. What I do with most leagues is pretend someone's there. Because even if you pretend, you will feel better about yourself. Just sitting here and doing it. I will say though, I was thinking to myself, there was a certain thing I did for round 4, I want to say, in Spain. I remember it was Spain, but I couldn't remember. Well, I'm pretty certain it's round 4. Why I did like a little summary of the race, and I thought instead of doing a summary of the race, why don't I do a summary of the season? No one listens to me, so right. It'll take me like a week or so. That'll be just what we can do. That'll be between 1982 to 1990. Last week at Rio de Janeiro circuit with 6 and finally here at Sao Paulo. I'm not actually sure when we're going to launch the new season. I don't know whether we're going to do it straight away, we'll give it like 2 weeks, or how long we're going to give it. But I know that we are going to do whatever time everything does. Absolutely no reason in doing it straight away because absolutely no point. Either way, Aeroblake's just got to set past the sector 1. So, interested to see how he's going to get on. Keep everything open and running right now. There we go. So, coming up to the end of sector 2 in just hand corner time. Here he comes. Is it purple sector 2? No, it is not. But I'm pretty certain it will still be a very solid time for Aeroblake as he does indeed come around the second to last corner, and now the final corner Aeroblake sets a time to put in P10. So what is surprising is it's P10 and yet it's only 6/10 off the pace. That has closed down incredibly tight in comparison to how it's been over time. You know, it used to be 6/10 off the pace and you were quite close up to the top. Now you're P10 and it's just it's really, really amazing. Oh, here we go. So season 3 starts on the 14th of December. Okay, that's a pretty decent gap. It's absolutely lovely. I have some exams starting next week for 2 weeks. So that's just, it's just nice that I just have one less thing to stress about. Racing will resume after Christmas on the 4th of January. Okay. Right, so of course we've finally chosen the calendar, which was really cool. I really like that idea of getting us to choose the calendar. I thought that was quite cool. I'm not quite sure where we did it though. I've kind of forgotten about that bit. But nevertheless, pre-race comments. Let's talk about those. Whilst we have got a couple of minutes to go, most drivers I think are out laps. And Mr. Cookie is on a lap. We've basically finished qualifying, but no one's really showing much promise. Our Henson's just crossed the line. Live Batters is about to cross the line to start his lap as well. So top 5 just about to start their time. Blair will be coming in soon as well, and Hazard will probably make it. Rick definitely going to make it as well. Jackalacco out on a lap. He's nearly 2/10 up on his time as of right now. Let's see how he gets on for the rest of it. Our Henson having an absolutely shocking first sector. J-Horse running in P2 and Mr. Cookie in the pit lane. So that is his qualifying over. So he's betting on the 3/10 gap being large enough to hold pole position. Well, as of right now, how it was going, it was a pretty solid time. J-Horse is very, very close. He needs to get 1/100th of a second down this back straight, so it's going to have to just be marginally better from J-Horse just to be enough to maybe clinch pole position from Mr. Cookie. Is it enough? It is enough, and J-Horse takes provisional pole as of right now. Henson incredibly down on his time, so that's his lap pretty much over. Lifeboat also about to come across the line very, very soon. Is it good enough to get up in P2? Is it pole? No, it's P3, and he overtakes Henson. But Hazard also coming round now. He's 2/10 down on his time. Other than that, Blair just about behind and now going incredibly slowly into the pit lane. So that is him pretty much done. Smithy as well, all over for him. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Qualifying for you. Hazard extremely done on his time. That's pretty much his race. Well and truly over. He is going to go for the line. Understandably, and sort of good sportsmanship there, to be honest. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is qualifying done, and it's a shock, not shock. But what is like impressive is, well, J-Horse has got a lot to do. I can't lie, J-Horse has got a lot to do. If he wants to win this championship right now, as the way it looks, you know, you've got J-Horse and then the two Alfa Romeos. Two cars is always stronger than one. Doesn't matter how good one driver is, two drivers will always be stronger than one. It's looking in a bad position for Ferrari at the moment to try and take this title after qualifying. Speaking of, let's have our little qualifying rundown. It is J-Horse on pole by just over 0.5 of a second, with Mr. Cookie and Rick in P2 and 3 the two Alfa Romeos there. Lifeboat in P4 and our Henson in P5 for the Williams. Hazard came in P6 for the Aston Martin, and Giacolacco, the other Ferrari, in P7. Almond Plays, Blair and Era Blake round out the top 10, with Smithy, Simon Barstafan, Scotty, Jimmy Jags, Essex Perry, Quick Killers and Bluebird rounding out the top 17, with only 17 drivers participating and only 15 drivers setting a lap time, with Essex Perry being in 15th with just over 2 seconds behind the time. Quick Killers and Bluebird obviously didn't set times. I don't know, that might have been because they weren't allowed to. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a quick little read of pre-race comments. Henson, hear me out. He's going to win here. Rick says, wish you good luck. Mr. Cookie thinks it might actually be possible. Rick is just hoping for a decent result, and Rick a bit confused, hoping for a championship after all of this. Mr. Cookie, no, because J-Horse will reach Mach 4 during the race, lap everyone 17 times, stop for a sandwich, win the lottery, go on holiday, come back and do 3 laps in reverse and still win by 10 laps. That's brilliant. 10, I expect 12 least from Rick. His flight was delayed back from holiday, so don't be too harsh. Simon Barstafan, I'm going to do an L plan, and just a nice little silly. But the Alfa Romeo pair, not too confident. Well, after that qualifying, I hope that they are a little bit more confident, because that's a really, really good qualifying for Alfa Romeo to possibly take home this championship today. But nevertheless, we have an out lap to be done, or a formation lap, that is the word. It is looking between a 2 and a 3 stop today, depending on whether we have any problems with our safety cars and whatnot. It is kind of possible that Brazil safety cars happen. There is quite a distance between some barriers and some rules. But nevertheless, turn 1, fateful place. Desperately bad sometimes. Either way, what a driver's starting on. Well, J-Horse is going nice and conservative at the very start of this race, with Mr. Cookie and Rick going for the medium tyre to start. Possibly just try and get in front of him, hold that pace up a little bit, possibly even try and pull away as a pair. Very smart decision making from them. Lifebout in P4 has gone for the hard tyres, whereas our Henson and Hazard and Giacolacco has gone for the mediums just behind. So it is primarily mediums out today. Armour Blaze also on the hards, and then you have to drop all the way back down to 15th of Essex Perry to see another set hard. And importantly, and interestingly, Bluebird is currently on a set of softs. So whether he thinks, you know what, I'm not in the position I want to be, I want to get up a couple of positions before we really get this race going. Bluebird, we already seen Bluebird can put in a decent result. He won in Mexico, and I have a feeling that might have been his first race because I genuinely hadn't heard of him until last week. So he's already won a race. He won his first race in I'm pretty sure it was in this altogether. But I mean, nevertheless, he's not in a position he wants to be, clearly. He knows how to win a race, and he has done. So it's now just down to him. So let's take advantage of everyone being close together and absolutely nail this start to the race, which I think is nothing but valid, to be honest. Either way, we get ready to go here in Brazil with a couple of drivers not being able to pull off as they so wish. Drivers, notably J-Horse, pushing in towards the outside, interestingly. Possibly just trying to look for... going round at the outside. Either way, we do go to 5 red lights, and it's a pretty long start, but it's a pretty good start for Mr. Cookie, but he can't quite get it on the later part of the track. And J-Horse does get the better acceleration, but Mr. Cookie on the inside, he's going to be on the inside for this left-hander here, and Mr. Cookie does take the lead at the very start of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and now J-Horse under a little bit of fire there from the Alfa Romeo behind. He's in a nice Alfa Romeo sandwich right now, and he did look to have a little look past there, but he couldn't quite pull it off. So running into turn 5 now, and Lifebelt hasn't moved either, neither has our Henson and Hazard. So it is pretty quiet towards the back of the grid. I don't think all that too much happened, but nevertheless, J-Horse loses the position. Oh, there goes J-Horse flying off the track, and he's going to have to desperately try and gain onto whatever he can salvage. But he is going to lose places here. He's going to lose lots and lots of places. J-Horse moving down to P6 after that kerfuffle. And a diving, what's that there? The AlphaTauri there. Launching one around the left-hand side of Armand Blaze. And he's going to go for J-Horse. And oh, collision. And that takes J-Horse. He's still in it. J-Horse is still in this race, ladies and gentlemen. He is not out just yet. But, oh, I think that might be a challenge, to say the least, to stay in this race now. My goodness, do I need to go and get a paracetamol, because I can barely feel my throat. All I can feel is pain. Well, as it stands, not only have Alfa Romeo won the championship, they've absolutely blitzed it. They've done like 30 points on Ferrari. That is absolutely run away with it as of right now. Well, we were hoping for a championship battle, but I think it might have been decided on that one year. Both Ferraris, P14 and 15, it's not looking good, but decent little move there from Quickillers as he managed to move the Williams up into P8. Simon Varspan in P9 now, so he's still having a pretty decent choice of possible things he could do, maybe. And he couldn't go for it. Jesus Christ, he was quick down there. Quickillers even barely any space, and he has managed to wrap it around the outside there. So just a little bit out of it, just trying to keep my concentration up. I'm very, very tired as well. Williams having to go very defensive, as evidently so. A bit of contact there between him and the Alpine. So those two still going at it. Blake also just up ahead against Armand Blaze, rocking that right now. Doing a very, very good job indeed. Those Quickillers, I think, have got a little bit of time to spare at the moment. And, oh, bad little move there by Alpine, but the whole track has been neutralised. What for? Is it for a safety car? I think it is. No, it's not the VSC. Yeah, VSC. Either way, so we'll use this time to sort of this opportunity to talk about some possible track for next season. The calendar station has been out for a week now, and quite a lot of ones have been raised. With Brazil currently, I'm pretty certain, having the most votes of any other track. Second place is the Great Britain joined with Austria. Then you've got Belgium on 14 points, Australia on 15 points. Others include 12 points for the USA and 10 points for Monza, obviously. 14 points for Baku and 12 points for Singapore. Singapore last season was very good. I enjoyed Singapore. 12 points for Canada, 10 points for China, 10 points for Netherlands, and 11 points for the UAE. 12 points for Bahrain as of right now, and 11 points for Saudi Arabia. And DRS is now being enabled, and we are racing again. So Rick and Mr. Cookie right now leading the field and at control distance. Racing not too badly. They haven't changed positions yet. I can't really see them needing to change. Oh, is one of them in a title fight and the other not? Who knows? Maybe you could see a little move around. Okay, so Mr. Cookie is currently in the title fight with our Henson. So Mr. Cookie will, if they do decide to, go off that basis, which I mean is understandable as to why they would. I would as well. But if that's what they decide to do, then I can do nothing but agree with them. So Rick's got a pass. These two are racing. Oh damn! These two are racing, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a race. Oh, that's actually so heroic because I just thought these Alfa Romeos were going to sit at the front, not do an awful lot. And Quick Killers is out, ladies and gentlemen, in the pit lane. Right, okay. I get so excited when I see someone retire from the session, and then I just look at them and they're in the pit lane, and it's very sad. Either way, still a pretty quiet race. Oh, hello, that's some guy. I've got no idea when you did said that. But hi, nevertheless. Hope you're doing well. These two are ridiculously close to each other. Only problem is though, life out. Sorry, I went into a little trance there. Running off back. These two drivers right now are running nicely, but Lifeout's running with them, and they won't they want to break off from Lifeout and be able to run the race by themselves. Because as of right now, if they're in this position, you're a sixth of the way through the race, you don't want to be having to waste these medium tyres on, having to defend. Oh, who's that? That's Lifeout, isn't it? That is Lifeout. I've just seen him. What the hell have I just witnessed? I'm talking about how close Lifeout is. I've just seen Mr. Cougar. I've seen no one behind him. Why is that so funny to me? Either way, scrap everything I just said because that's no longer the case. Lifeout is very much no longer in contention of a decent position here. He's going to be 7. Though it's still lap 7 to 36. Stuff can change. Don't you worry. Stuff can change. I've seen it happen all too many times before. These two, though, still the closest two racers on the track. So we may as well keep watching them because what else is there to watch? Either way, it's going too badly at the moment. The races sort of died down into momentum quite early, nowhere near as early as it last week. But I mean, nevertheless, last week was like after. I'm not quite sure how we ever managed to do something that short. They're going side by side. They've gone for it. Mr. Cookie has managed to put himself back into the leader. I didn't even realise they were so close. The camera angle was that terrible. He's only got and done it. Mr. Cookie moved back into the lead of this race. He'll be hoping to now use this time. Get away, basically. I mean, that's kind of the idea. Just run away. Run away whilst you can. Because the best possible time to do it is now. All times, you go now. You hope for the best. Well, lots of drivers. Still, quite a few people in very close contention with one another. Very close towards the back here. These drivers still very relentless with one another. And J-Horse right on the back of them as well, just waiting for something bad to happen. Because right now, Smithy being so offline is slowing everyone down so badly. But he's going offline to try and get around Simon Barton. He can't quite get past. But then that means he's having to quickly run offline to get a little bit more drag without slowing down. Plays got past out there, slightly further ahead. And now look at this, Smithy under a lot of pressure from J-Horse, who is probably going to have this, I reckon. He has as well. J-Horse into heat M. Is it for long? Yeah, he has. He's got it. It was pretty close though. Smithy did have a little look to the inside, thought he could try it. Life out and armour plays. I feel like this is the battle to be watching right. These two drivers actually kind of going head to head. Because he's still in front of Rick, even if they are just half a second between them. They are very close together, aren't they? I feel like they are going to just kind of sit in tandem with each other this entire time. Which, I mean, is understandable. It's kind of what you do. As our Henson has lost the place. Oh, our Henson's disconnected. No! Aeroblake's having an absolute wonder of a race. What's happened to Aeroblake? He's just flown up there. Well done, Blake. Blake Toby, let's go for that. E3 running nicely. He'll be very happy with that indeed. Understandably, I would think. As Armand Plays has managed to get past Lifebout again as they still go side to side, but it's going to be the Red Bull with the inside line here, but his eyes, Lifebout has got the better through the outside there, and he's just not even had to worry about going to the inside. As I'm pretty certain there's a ghosted car, but this one isn't. Armand Plays having to worry about that first, as there we go, he passes Hazard. Just make sure, because that's quite a few drivers. Both of which, losing out. Jacalato saying, guess what's happened again? He's finally jumped. Oh no, he is still racing. And now Bluebird picking up those past our Henson and Hazard, who are right now tossing lovely, but they're both AI, just absolutely no point watching. Let's watch back to the front runners. Oh no. Bluebird into the pits, the soft tyres finally dying. They took their time, didn't they, John? Really took their time. I do apologise if you can hear the rain. Absolutely hammering it down. I'm very chilly in this. Like, it's not warm, but it's cold at the same time. I have a little cabinet in the house, which is what I'm in right now. Basically, a glorified shed, to be honest. But yeah, you can really hear the rain. Kind of scary. The thing is, I've got this massive project poncho out there to go back into. I don't want to get wet. Oh, this is a good little three-way fight. These guys still at it. Well, it's now, instead of it being J-Horse, it's now Blair. What happened to J-Horse? Why did he drop down again? Did he spin? Oh, J-Horse. It's fun again. I think he's kind of realised, Alfa Romeo, I mean, as of right now, have confidently won it. We'll go with that. They're confidently leading everybody else right now. Which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. It's nice to see kind of two different people, just similar to 2021, with Mercedes winning the constructors and Red Bull winning the drivers. It's nice to see. Let's see something a bit different. J Horse winning the drivers and Alfa Romeo winning constructors. You're so used to seeing one team, one driver picking up the championship. It's always nice to see a different side to it. And is the Haas going to go for it? He's going to go for it. Haas has launched one up the inside there and he's pulled it off. Fair play to Smithy, who moves up into P8. Other than that, Hazard and Henson are both back racing again after losing a fair few positions. Smithy has managed to hold on there. And Simon, okay, so it's Simon Barspan losing out to Adelbert. Never ideal, to be honest. Losing two places in a matter of corners, it always hurts when it happens. But at the same time, that you can now just attack. Wait for something like this to happen. Let the two fight as the Haas is finished trying to keep it around the outside. Sorry, doesn't quite pull off. He's now just going to follow through. Anything could possibly come out of it. Notably, the whether they're just doing massive conservation of energy, I don't know. It could well be that that's all they're doing. They're just really conserving energy, but you've got to wonder why, haven't you? Either way, Brazil, a bit notorious for a bit of rain every now and then. Can we have something? That would be highly appreciated, a bit of rain. Well, it's quieting down a little bit. I might really cold. Bluebird's got into the fastest time. Mercedes, well, he's on basically fresh medium, isn't he? Down in 14th. I don't know whether our rules say that we get points outside the top 10. I have no idea, so don't quote me on it. Probably have a more up-to-date rules. Oh, I know what the rules are on here. I know that the lobby thing. But absolutely no idea. It's a bit confusing, but at the same time it does keep the racing a bit closer, so I'm more than happy with it. Aeroblake comes into the pit lane, so the man on mediums comes into the pits. We'll take a little look at the tyre degradation, or at least tyre length. So they're 14 lap old mediums, is what Aeroblake's decided to come on. He's obviously going for a bit of an undercut, as there goes Mr. Cookie to the outside. I think that was kind of just allowed through there. These two drivers have been working in tandem brilliantly. They've done a really, really good job to kind of control the pace of the pack. And now with 8 seconds to another driver, it's looking good for the Alfa Romeos, who are absolutely dominating this race so far. As a duo, they've done very, very well. But I say that it's lap 15 of 36. We still have a couple more laps to go to the halfway mark. All can still be changed. Oh, there is Kimmy Jag, not on track. Feel like I've said that before. Either way, J Horse is going to launch one around the outside of Simon Barspan. He's managed to pull it off. Ferrari moves up into P9. So J Horse on his way up a little bit. So he fell down to P15. He's managed to get himself up to P9 so far. Is he going to be happy as setting those hard tyres, considering the situation he's got himself in? No. The mediums would have been the much better choice. As Mr. Cookie comes into the pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. He's gone to a fresh set of hard tyres, unsurprisingly. And Aeroblake has come out P11 after his pit stop. J-Horse now has actually got a lot of place back to Simon Bartfan. He's going to have to do it all again if he wants to get past Simon Bartfan. Squeezes him right to the very inside. A little bit of contact made, but it's much better braking by J-Horse, who manages to come up side by side and just about gets it done with a little bit of contact in play. But nevertheless, J-Horse in front and in front of Mr. Cookie. So this could be a great big turning point here. J-Horse could perhaps use tactics if he can get past Mr. Cookie. You know, if he can use Smithy to hold up Cookie and get past Cookie, he can hold up Cookie. Then he boxes for mediums, gets in front of Cookie, and then he can go after Rick. But nevertheless, he's going to have Rick behind him unless he comes in this lap, which he won't. He's on hard. He'll go a couple more laps. I think all he really needs to do, if he can get himself past Cookie, even though Cookie's had the pit stop and he hasn't, it's still a really good position for J-Horse to be in. As well, at the same time, Mr. Cookie is going to be just targeting the car in front. He's just going to be going to Blair as quickly as possible, just trying to ignore that lingering Ferrari in the background. And now out comes the two Alfa Romeos who were fighting J-Horse, not 16 laps ago. Pretty much the exact same order as we saw it. J-Horse is going to go for a move on Rick. He's going to launch one round the outside here. Doesn't quite do it. Little switch back inbound. Can he get the better brakes? No, he can't. Good defensive move there by Rick. J-Horse sticks to the inside line there, hoping a little mistake by Rick. Didn't quite happen. Nevertheless, pushing on and forcing Rick to slow down here, notably. Even though Rick still hasn't actually conceded the position, you can see just how much further off he is from Mr. Cookie after that sector. It's a surprisingly big gap. And J-Horse is going to have to do a little bit more pace. And I mean, it is going to be tough for him, considering the fact, you know, he's on 16 lap older tyres than these other two drivers. I mean, that's never really an advantage, let's be honest there. Aeroblade goes into the fastest time from McLaren. As Mr. Cookie here fights with Blair, that slows down the both of them, which allows Rick to get on the back of Blair as well. J-Horse hasn't really managed to capitalise on the opportunity anywhere near as much as Blair. Does go very slowly. That's a brilliant opportunity. He's fighting very, very hard with Mr. Cookie. And now it's going to go 3 wide perhaps. No, it's going to stay as 2, but it is slowing down the pack enormously. It's very, very wide there by Blair. Could that be an opportunity for the Ferrari to get stuck and get involved? Well, he has managed to catch up to the back of the pack. Big little mistake there by Blair. He has gone and let everybody through, though, after that mistake. So, pretty poor driving there by Blair. It's unfortunate for him just to get the rear end just slipping out there. But nevertheless, these guys are kind of caught back up to one another, though. The two Alfa Romeos already beginning to drop the Ferrari very, very quickly. And there is the yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. That is Aeroblake. No! Aero! Why? I'm so sorry about my throat. I sound like I'm 12. I'm not, I can promise you. But, yeah. I just want to keep apologizing because it's not quite what you used to, you know, if I mean. Oh my god, I'm desperate to put this heater on. I'm just looking for a decent opportunity to uncool right now. A little 3-second time penalty there for Hazard. Unfortunate for him. Just picked up that for just exceeding track limits. I'm pretty certain just a couple of too many warnings from him. I mean, other than that, Hazard has gone and left the session. Whether that is incident related or not, I'm not too sure. I imagine so. Driver in front as well, Henson, has gone and done the exact same thing again. I wonder if we'll have another angry Henson in the chat once again. We did it last time, so I can only presume it will happen again. As of right now, Lifeboat leads with Armand Plays in P2. Pretty sure Jimmy Jags just stuck in between those. I mean, as of right now, okay, these drivers haven't come into pit, but they've got a pretty decent gap on Mr. Cookie right now. Our Henson has just gone and rejoins. Jimmy Jags going to get a penalty, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so not kind of an ending that he'd have particularly been favourable upon, but oh well. Well, as of right now, these two Alfa Romeo drivers have absolutely ditched J-Or. 2-second difference now between them after just a couple of laps. It is unfortunate that a title fight wasn't able to evolve, but nevertheless, the Alfa Romeos are growing absolutely spectacularly so far today. But that's what I say, so far. We still have a long, long way to go. Another 16 laps to go of this race. All can change. Absolutely all of it can change. This race is not over until it is over, and that is just something you've got to keep in mind. These races aren't done and dusted quite as early as some people sometimes seem to think they are. We've had twists, we've had turns and dying moments of races that have changed leaders and changed everything, changed the entire ballpark altogether. I mean, so far, a couple of moves just being made there, nothing special though. I think it's mainly pits that caused that. J-Horse has decided to finally pit for those medium tyres. P9 he'll probably come out in unless he can just about beat out our Henson out of the exit. It's going to be very, very tight because, okay, it's all right at the moment, but is he going to get the good enough exit? Yeah, it's comfortable, really. As our Henson fighting Smithy, very, very decent battle there just happening between those two. Interestingly enough, those two drivers, yeah, going basically top to tail here as they run through the second sector now. Armand Plays still yet to pit, one of the only men I think actually no, oh no, other than Last Place and Blair have also not pit. They just aren't doing quite as well as Armand as of right now, but yeah, he's doing very, very well for kind of the situation he's found himself in. And that is more pits there. So Blair goes onto a set of soft tyres, interestingly. Maybe that was kind of the plan, to just sort of let those tyres get so old and worn and just sell a brand new fresh pair of soft. But I can't lie, it's still another 12 laps to go until the end of this race. It's a long way to go on a set of soft tyres. You're really going to know about it at the end of that stint. I cannot lie, you're going to be basically driving on ice at that point. I mean, nevertheless, great little battle going on here. Aero Blake, Simon Busman and Lifeboat all going at one another here. They're not in the yellow flag, so racing will still continue. Aero Blake right at the front at the moment, and there you can see Lifeboat just getting on the outside, possibly just looking to make a little move there. Didn't quite pull off. Armand Plays finally comes into the pits as Aero Blake does comfortably lead the front into it, and in comes Simon Busman, the man on the 22 lap old medium. So he finally decides that enough is enough and probably time that we get in the pit lane, and so he does just that. And out's going to come Armand roughly in ball with all these three, so it's almost been a little substitution here. Aero Blake has managed to get past. Who's capitalised massively on that is Armand Plays, but even more importantly, Lifeboat's had an absolute beautiful one there. He's gone from 6th to 4th within a matter of a corner. Armand plays here, massively defending from Aeroblake, who was running very, very wide there for some reason. I'm not actually too sure. Either way, Armand plays on the freshest tyres of the lot. J-Horse also... Oh, he's quite a few seconds back. Right, okay. Nothing about J-Horse then. Either way, no, Armand's on obviously the freshest tyres of the lot. Only by 2 laps though. Lifeboat, 2 lap old mediums in comparison. As Mr. Googie and Rick obviously back at the front with a 9-second gap. Importantly though, Bluebirds has had a really, really good stint here so far. He's up into P3, though 14 lap old medium tyres. You know, he did that soft stint at the start, if you can remember. We called it interesting, and I mean it certainly is. Don't get me wrong. It really is. But you never know, it could actually work here. I really hope that you can't. Hang on one sec. Just make sure you can't hear that vibration. No. Right, lovely. Great. Perfect. Oh, I've got a heater on. It is kind of vibrating my chair a little bit. Just wanted to make sure you couldn't hear that through the microphone, which you can't, which is absolutely lovely. I'm trying to look at sort of where the close racing is, and I'm pretty certain it is just with these 2 front runners here, Rick and Mr. Cookie, the 2 men running at the front, and then the 2 men doing the best at the moment. Oh, I say that, Armand Plays and Lifeboat have just decided to start scrapping again. Lifeboat managing to get to the inside line here, but Armand Plays will have the inside line going up the right-hander, but he hasn't got quite enough straight line speed there, and just backs out there in the corner. So that pushes Lifeboat up into P4 as of right now, but it is still very, very hot on the back. Armand Plays, could he try and make a little lunge in? No, he elects against it, but he could just get a slightly better exit here if he can. He'll probably just be wanting to stay with the AlphaTauri now. If anything, that'll kind of just be the goal. Keep with the AlphaTauri and, you know, possibly use Bluebirds maybe even in like a lap or so's time. If that, these guys are catching up very, very quickly indeed. It could be as soon as in the next couple of corners that they're able to take out Bluebirds. Well, I say take out, I mean not in a crashing sense, but more in a taking them out of the podium positions as the Red Bull partners, obviously one of them being the sister team, do look in pretty good shape at the moment. There you go, Lifeboat just having a little look to the inside, kind of seeing, you know, what's Bluebird getting up to? Is he a bit nervous or anything? He's on 16 lap old mediums, so tyres will be a little bit worn, hence the catching happening at quite a rate. And oh, I say that, Lifeboat's done it again. He spun it. Poor little fella. Terribly sorry, Lifeboat. That was a bit of commentator's curse there. I do hate breaking to him. Lap 27 of 36. 10 laps to go. Including the 1-1 right now, which has got all of about 2 corners left. So, 9 laps to go. Well, we shall continue watching Armand until he gets past, which I'm pretty certain he will. Maybe even up here at turn. I'm pretty sure it's turn 4, isn't it? Yeah, he's got to the inside line here. Armand has managed to go and get it done, but not for long. Bluebird's coming out back at him, and he's managed to get it back past again. Fair play, Bluebird. Bluebird ain't having it, and I absolutely love to see it. Bit of fight back in the Mercedes driver. He's not going to let the Red Bull get past this time round down at turn 4. It's not happening for him, but MRLS I'm right on the very back here. Can he possibly look for a move to the inside? No. He's going to have to stay behind for now. With that, Aeroblake is catching up. Very gradually though. And so coming down the main straight, they're not a tenth between them. And now with DRS enabled and with Bluebird hitting, that pretty much takes that fight out of it. Well, not really pretty much. It does. That's that fight over. I will be back in, I'd say a lap's time, but probably going to be a little bit more considering the fact that we'll try and wait for the end of the race, because I feel like if I go out there I'm going to miss like 3 laps of racing and it's going to be a safety car and everybody's going to be changed and somehow SX Terry's going to be winning it and Jimmy Jags is going to be P2. And I don't want to miss that. But if I stay, then it won't happen. So, oh, that's a really big moral dilemma because I want to be able to commentate on it, and I don't want to be the bad commentator and not be here. Oh well, I'm staying. These two are going to go at it anyway. They're going to be our entertainment. The Alfa Romeo on the inside, Alfa Romeo on the outside. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to address this, but Mr. Cookie has come out of the center messes in the lead. I'm pretty sure that was the way before. Anyway, though, Rick going to fly up the inside there. You can see Mr. Cookie having to keep switching to his left hand look. He is now going to try and get the inside line here. Can he pull it off though? He's not quite going to be able to. He's going to have to hook one massively out the outside here. It was a decent little fight, but he's going to have to try and go for a little switchback here. He does have a little look, but he's left against it. So Rick currently moved up into P1 as it stands. And the two Alfa Romeo drivers have driven absolutely spectacularly so far. Still pretty much driving in unison, which is very, very impressive. On 13 and 14 lap old hard so far, so they've still got a little way to go, maybe about 20 laps old. They're going to be a little bit worn down, a little bit tired. Old Blaze time will probably be about the same kind of pace at that point anyway. They've been a couple of laps younger but medium, so unless something happens, unless maybe a safety car, change in strategy, something along those lines is going to be what causes a big change here if we do have one. To be honest, as of right now, these two Alfa Romeo drivers driving absolutely phenomenally. Pardon me, driving very, very well indeed, and really showing off that Alfa Romeo might be a proper force to be reckoned with as a recent driver. You never know, they could be going to the championship next season. Jay Horse has already announced that he's not going to be. He's not expecting to be massively competitive, so we could have an inter-team championship battle if these two decide to stay on the same team for next season. You never know. Drivers do like to change things around though. Alfa Romeo though, I do think was a pretty good choice for both of them. Rick actually started at Mr. Cookie last season was at Martin, and then he moved to Alfa Romeo, and then Rick was at Haas, and then he moved to Alfa Romeo. So neither driver has actually started kind of their BRL careers at Alfa Romeo, but they've managed to stay here, and they've got on as good drivers. They were great driver pairing of sort of kind of different abilities. Rick is not the best qualifier in the world. Mr. Cookie really excels in qualifying, so I guess they can kind of use, think of it as obviously no disrespect to either driver, but think of Rick as Lewis Hamilton and Mr. Cookie as George Russell. Mr. Cookie's Mr. Saturday, Rick's Mr. Sunday for the team. Rick knows how to put on a good race, though I say that Mr. Saturday did kind of become Mr. Sunday a little bit. Mr. Cookie did win his first race of the season. Not just of his season, but of his BRL career, which has spanned from the very, very start of it. So Mr. Cookie has now managed to come under that group, to say, yes, I've won a race in BRL. It was absolutely lovely. It was a pretty decent race. Silverstone, it was Silverstone. I do remember it. It was wet the entire race, and he drove brilliantly. Very, very impressed by him. Rick as well has driven very, very well. Indeed, he picked up quite a few wins, I'm pretty sure, throughout this race, throughout the season. I mean, he's come second in the championship after all, so he must have done something right. Let's take a little look back at some race results. With Australia, Rick did win. He won back us, but nevertheless, he did win. He also won in Imola. He won. Oh, he came second in Miami. Obviously, then Mr. Cookie won at Silverstone. We haven't got results for round 6, unfortunately. Round 8 was J-Horse. That was a good race. Mr. 4. P2 for Rick and King in race 9. So, okay, yes. Round 12, 1-2 again. So this could be, in theory, the second 1-2 of the season. Also, it doesn't really matter which driver finishes on top of each other now, because with our Henson out, they are secured championship positions. Neither of them are changing positions, so it doesn't really matter what each driver does now. They are now in position they can lose. Both of them can crash, and they will still finish P2 and 3 in the positions they are. You know, they can't overtake each other. I mean, I guess kind of empties that out a little bit, because that means you know they're not going to be fighting, though they won't want to fight. It's a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. It's a Red Bull off the track. I'm pretty sure that's Essex Perry, but he's back on, so nothing major at all. Got 34 and 36, so with 3 laps to go. Well, 2.5 now, really. And I mean, yeah, let's just keep chatting about constructors, shall we? So the Italian team have done very well throughout this season. They haven't picked up absolute massacres of wins. Obviously, they've won in their home country, out in Italy. They've got the 1-2. They'll be very, very happy with that. And now another 1-2 here in Brazil. It's something they can say they did instead of Ferrari. Ferrari, okay, yes, have had a very, very good run this season. But once again, it was down to one driver really, really excelling. As unfortunately we have seen kind of last season as well. Ferrari very much here, but let's be honest, J-Horse is in another league of the second driver at Ferrari, sort of at most times. You know, J-Horse has managed to creep himself up into P4. So as we've been speaking, and Smithy has retired from the session, not in the pit lane either. I don't know. No, it's not. That's really depressing. It's going to be the last moment safety car. All we need to see is a possible safety car position as well. But Smithy crashes out with 2 laps to go. With lap and a half to go. Well, 2 laps for him. It would have been just at the start of the 2-lap marker. But nevertheless, one more lap, to be honest, to sort of just talk about Alfa Romeo and their season. So yeah, as I was saying, I mean, it hasn't been an awful lot of race wins for them. They've picked up quite a few, but J-Horse has had the most significant amount of championship wins. You know, J-Horse on 310 points, and Ferrari on 417. So he's taken home 3. So his teammates have picked up 50 points collectively in comparison to him. You know, with Bluebird down on 27 and Never Fear Andy's here earlier than that doing. I mean, he was on 103 points. Never Fear Andy's here was very, very up there and racing. But nevertheless, we've only got one more braking zone to go. And it looks like it's going to be Rick, unless Rick wants to give the honour over to Mr. Cookie. I'm not too sure yet. Are they going to try and go side by side? I don't really think so. It has been a long and fought hard season, and it's going to be Rick VE17 to win in Mexico, with Mr. Cookie lining out in P2. Essex Perry picks up the fastest lap there right at the very end. And it is a Constructors title for Alfa Romeo Racing. With Armand Plays in P3 for Red Bull. That's a nice big win for him. And Lifebout in P4 there. A great little recovery there by J-Horse in P5. And Bluebird came in P6 after that soft, medium, soft strategy. That paying off there nicely. Aeroblake in P7 as well. Giacolasco P8 for Ferrari. Blair in P9. Southern Barstfan will be P10. Or maybe not. Oh, Henson might be able to just have him at the line here. It's going to be a run to the line. Who's it going to be? It's going to be very, very close indeed. But no, I don't think so. I think Simon Barstfan might just have this in the bag. Yes, he does. And no! At the very last second, Henson gets it right to the very end. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Alfa Romeo Racing win the Constructors' Championship, and with a 1-2 just to seal the deal. Watch their celebrations and enjoy the day as the twins win for Alfa Romeo. Congratulations to Rick and Mr. Cookie. He hasn't crumbled this time. Congratulations. So, with that result, Alfa Romeo win the championship comfortably with Rick in P1 and Mr. Cookie P2. Armand Plays in P3 with Lifebout in P4, J-Horse P5, Bluebird P6 and Aeroblake in P7, Giacolasco in P8 and RJ Blair in P9. Is Giacolasco Never Fear Andy's there? Have I just figured that? Is Giacolasco Never Fear Andy's there? Is he really? He might be, you know, and that's kind of what's worrying me. He could be. Nevertheless, Simon Barstfan in P11 and Hazard in P12. SX Perry P13, Jimmy Jackson P14, Smithy P15, Quick Killers P16 and Scotty P17 with P15 and below DNFing out of the race. Well, what a race it was. I think Smithy technically still gets... Yeah, Smithy technically still finishes because he finished in the last 2 laps of the race. So, nevertheless, that is the race over. I will be back in a couple of minutes' time to talk to our top 3. But yeah, just give me a couple of minutes and I'll be back with you. Alrighty, let's get our top three in a little chat, as I think they'll be very, very happy to come and talk. So close party, create a group. What was it? It's Armand, wasn't it? Yeah. Mr. Cookie. And Armand. Yeah. Right. There we go. There's the party loaded up. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Oh, I'd like to think so. We'll wait for your little counterpart to get here because I feel like the fact that you drove as a duo for all but like 2 laps of that race, I feel like it's only fair if I talk to you as a pair
Yep.
because that's kind of how you race the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, nevertheless, whilst it is still you here, you are constructors champions.
Yeah.
How are
Um,
you feeling?
I'm exhausted. Um, it's it's been an interesting season. It's had its ups and downs. Um, yeah. I think I think what made it go to the end was me and Cookie not being together for the first four races.
Hmm. So you feel like had you have been together right from the start, that would have kind of, you'd have had it wrapped up with a couple of races to go.
Yes, maybe not maybe not a couple, maybe like one or two.
Hmm.
As well, obviously I had my two wins at the start of the season, and I did have a DNF in before I moved to Alpha,
Hmm.
which would have delayed it, but
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to ask. How come you? I don't think I ever asked you this. How come you decided to join Alfa Romeo?
Cookie's teammate didn't appear, and my teammate didn't appear. That's basically how it went.
Oh, okay, so you just kind of merged into one team.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so now it's both of you. I can talk to you both at the same time. I've already asked Rick this question, but Misko, you can have it as well. Constructors Championship. How does it feel? Silence. He hasn't got his microphone plugged in, has he?
Well done.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. There we go. We got it working.
Did you hear what I said, or
Oof.
do I need to repeat?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Right, okay. I said I've already asked Rick this question, but I'll happily ask you as well. Constructors Championship. How are you feeling?
A bit surprised actually. I didn't think this would really happen after I think even round three. I'd say I didn't really have a teammate at the time. Paul was suffering of COVID, and I'm glad he's recovered from that. But yeah, I don't think my results were all that great. I think I had it was a P7, a P5, and I think a P13. So it really wasn't that great for a start, and I think
Hmm.
I only had around 20 points. So I'm very happy that Rick's come over, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think I was really one to make a decision. That's him, guys stated it, but yeah, I'm very happy with that actually. Because I just didn't think that would actually happen at the start of the season. So yeah, I haven't really got many other words. I'm just pretty happy.
Well, I mean, sorry. Um, let's quickly talk about the race for just a moment and say you two worked together so much throughout that entire race. Were you actually communicating with each other, or was that just like green link chemistry?
Oh, no. I was just I was kind of just going back and forth. I didn't know always when to let Rick pass, so I may have
Mm.
occasionally held him up a tiny bit. But I think it was just a matter of me not knowing because when J Horse got hit off on lap one, I
Mm.
was completely confused because my TV had turned off and I didn't know where I was driving, so I got another warning for
Mm.
like going off the track. I've got no clue where I'm going. I've had to press AI, and I don't know what's happened. I turn my TV back on. The next thing I see, Jay was completely cutting the grass. So I don't know what happened there. So I was thinking that could have been my fault, and I thought, okay, that could be a penalty. So what I should do really now is just work with Rick, see if I can pull away as much as I can,
Mm.
and I think that worked really well by the end because I think we had an 8 second gap to P3 by the end. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it
Besides
was.
that, sorry, yeah, but besides that, yeah, it's just a game of teamwork really, and I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy it's
Mm.
worked out.
I mean, so going across the whole season, it wasn't the absolute strongest start of the season for. I mean, Rick, you've got a couple of wins personally, but obviously they went to Haas in the end.
Yeah.
But with drivers in talking about it, it's P2 and 3 for you guys. Going into next season, I've kind of got two questions off this basis. A, do you want to work together again next season? And B, are you going for the title?
Okay, so I think just quickly shut down question one there. I don't think we're able to work together because what we're going to be doing is the same as what we did last season, where we've mixed up all the drivers. So I'm going to have
Mm-hmm.
to pick someone from P11 to P20, and I can't stay with Rick. So I
Okay.
think, I think if I had the chance, it would be nice to try and help him a little when I can. But yeah, I don't know what next season's going to hold at all. So yeah, I don't know. But other question about the driver's title, I don't know. I think I have a shot, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a bit of an outside shot, to be honest, but I think I do have a bit of a shot.
What
But
about you, Rick?
So for question A, I think that's basically what Cookie said.
Yeah.
And for B, I'm definitely able to go for the title
Mm-hmm.
because J Halls, of course, is going on the wheel next season,
Yes.
so he will not be very competitive, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
well, you can't underestimate him that much. You know him.
Yeah, well, he openly stated it last race, thinking that he'd start slow and he'd build up throughout the season. So I think it's kind of a matter of he kind of be like Braun GP, take the most out of the start of the season, and kind of go from there and just try and cling on to the championship.
Yeah, but I don't really know. I think having this be the last race and it's all constructors decided, drivers are decided, it's all now kind of going to settle down for a little while. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I think the calendar is definitely what we needed. Like we needed those like week breaks in between. And it's
Oh,
been
absolutely.
really nice. It's been really nice instead of having it every single week for 15 weeks. Like it's nice having a little break. And I
Mm.
think now after knowing where I am in the drivers' championship, knowing where I am in the constructors' championship, it's now just a matter of calming down and seeing who I can pick for my teammate next year.
Yeah. Speaking of, is there a particular team that you'd be most attracted to join a if you could
Hmm.
choose?
I don't know. There really isn't like a team I'm specifically going for. Instead, I
Mm.
would like to try and maybe go back to Aston Martin or maybe even try something like Alpine. Those are the only other two teams I've actually done when league racing besides being a reserve. So
Mm.
it'd be quite nice to go back there and see how it's going to go. But yeah, I don't think many other teams really like interested me on this game. I really like the Alfa Romeo livery, but besides that, there really aren't many others that I'm a big fan of.
Okay, and you, Rick?
One of the top 4 teams of last season, so Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren.
Okay.
I really like those liveries.
Alrighty, well, I'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes' time for our 3-word race roundup. But we'll quickly chat with P3, who hasn't said anything so far. Armin, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad, thanks. A bit of a sore throat, but you know what, we'll survive. P3, how are you feeling?
Oh, really good. Firstly, congratulations to both you guys, Alfa Romeo, the constructors. Brilliant job. I joined
Thanks, mate.
halfway through,
Thank you, mate.
so yeah. Since then, you two have been probably the team to beat. So yeah.
And with this result, that's taken you up probably about 2 places. I think you've definitely had Lifebout because he was below you. So I'm pretty confident you're past him. Whether you've just managed to scrape quick killers as well, you might have, which will put you another 2 places above. So overall for the championship, a pretty decent result for you.
Yeah, especially because I've only driven 6 or so races. So to be near enough top 10, I'm really happy with that.
And speaking of, are you looking forward to starting for a whole season next time round?
Next season, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe reserve, maybe full time.
Okay.
I'll have to see.
Okay.
I'll definitely drive at least a few races next season.
Yeah.
Maybe become a reserve.
Okay, fair enough. And I mean, other than that, it's been a pretty good run, especially for Red Bull, which have never been particularly a dominant team in BRL. Would you quite like to stick with the Red Bull group, or would you, if you were to do full time, would you particularly go to a different team?
I do like driving the Red Bull in this game, but I am a Williams fan in real life, so I do like driving the Williams in the game as well.
Okay. I mean, other than that, we can't really talk about the whole season as a whole because you haven't been here. But I mean, for the time where you have, it has been pretty solid results week in, week out, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I've got a few podiums on the way, a few good results. Actually, one of my strong points that since I've been here is my quali has improved like crazy. I'm qualifying like maybe top 6 or 7 with all these guys. These guys are like incredibly fast, so I'm really happy with that.
Right. Well, let's do. Well, we'll do 3-word race roundup, and we'll do 3-word season roundup because nice little finale. So we'll start with race winner Rick. Go for it.
Race roundup. Teamwork masterclass alpha. I think that's it.
Fair enough. And Mr. Cookie.
Panicking. I think that's just one word because I didn't really know what was going to happen afterwards. So I've just worked together the whole race thinking, am I going to get a penalty? I don't know what's happened. That's it. Yeah, I think if I had to add one more word, it would just be happy, really. It's actually been a pretty good season, and I think I've definitely been a lot better on this game than I was on last year. But yeah, pretty happy.
And what about you, Armin?
I'd say chaos, especially the one where I was. Definitely, respect is the word I'd say because there was a lot of respect. I was going side by side with a lot of people, and hard tires just because they just lasted forever.
And okay, we'll loop back round to Rick for your season roundup.
Incredible first season.
Fair enough, Mr. Cookie.
Oh wait, what? Sorry,
Season roundup. We're doing a season roundup. His last race.
Season roundup. I guess. I don't know. It's actually very difficult, this one. Changeable. Actually, no. I'm gonna say highs and lows.
That's a solid one, actually. Highs and lows. I rate that. Armin, season roundup. I mean, half season roundup for you.
I'll just say competitive, to be honest.
Competitive. Well, thank you all very much for talking to me. I will see you in, well, a couple of weeks. And we'll be getting ourselves underway. I think it's 14th of December is our first race, or due to be. So look forward to seeing you then.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, mate.
See you later.
See you in a few weeks' time, mate.
Yeah, see you later. Alrighty, so I just have 2 more things I want to do. I'm about to do a interesting kind of take on an interview. We're going to talk to the owner. Unfortunately, he can't actually join me on comms, so he's just going to sit here and he's going to type the answers to me, and then I'm going to read them out to you. So just make sure he's ready. I'll just throw it in. Alrighty, so it's great because I can actually talk these because he's listening, which is ideal. I know that you haven't been able to get to as many races this year as you did. Well, sorry, this season.